What's going on, family? Yes, I'm back at it. I am back at it, okay? Back at it like dramatic, you know what I mean? I'm back at it. Now, I've been waiting to talk about this topic for a minute, man. Now, this weekend, of course, like I've been telling everybody in the back end who actually know, got a lot of stuff personally that's been happening. Been dealing with a lot of different things family-wise, so that's why I haven't been able to come on here as much as I would like to with y'all, all right? So some things have got backlogged, and this is one of them. This was supposed to happen last week, but didn't have the time to do it, but I have the time today. All right? And the title is, and y'all see it, Isiah Thomas exposes systematic oppression. What's your excuse now? What is the excuse now that he's exposing systematic oppression? Okay? Now, we're going to get into the Sway in the Morning interview. All right? I don't have a lot of time. Okay, I'm about to just get into it, and we're about to get it going. Let's get it.
Really appealed to me. Keep the applause going, please. It's a pleasure and an honor to have the two-time NBA champion here. Keep the applause going right now. The NBA Finals MVP, 12 times NBA All-Star. Keep the applause going, ladies and gentlemen. The 12-time NBA All-Star who was named to the NBA's 50th and 75th anniversary teams. Keep the applause going. But what appealed to me most is that even though I saw him on these big stages, I related to him. I think watching him play the game of basketball was like a metaphor for life. He wasn't the biggest man on the court ever. He probably wasn't the highest paid player on the court ever. He was probably someone that a lot of people doubted, didn't think that he'll be able to accomplish the things he's done ever and go as far as he's gone ever. When you mention his name now, you got to mention his name amongst the elite greats of all time when it comes to basketball altogether, but he represented the hood to us. When we used to get out on that basketball court, playing on that concrete, it was certain names that we would yell out. Who are you? Isiah! Boom!
Did you make the shot, though?
And what Sway said it was very impactful. He represented all of us who were in urban communities, all of us who were basically from impoverished areas. Isiah Thomas represented that. You know what I'm saying? So, listen, we're going to get more into this interview. I'm not going to talk too much. I'm going to let the interview talk for itself, and I'll come in when I need to come in. Let's get it.
Absolutely, every time. Zeke, boom!
I mean, you shot it, but did you make it?
Well, it didn't matter, but I had to. He didn't make every shot. But I want to welcome him. His son has graced our airways plenty of times,
Yep.
but we always ask about his dad. But I want to welcome you to this show for all that you do and all that you represent, especially what you represent for the players, what you represent for the game of basketball, but outside of the court, what you represent. I don't know if we ever know how many people we inspire when we're in the public eye and when we're so-called celebrities. But you gave a lot of people hope and you gave a lot of people fight. And by your success, you made a lot of people believe that they can achieve success. Please welcome Isiah Thomas.
Thank you. Thank you.
Isiah Lord Thomas. The third.
Yes.
The third.
Thank you.
You the youngest out of how many kids?
9.
Wow.
6 brothers, 2 sisters. I'm the 7th son of the 7th son.
You're the 7th son.
Yes.
Is that how you got tough? Like fighting for food?
Fighting for food every day.
Uh-huh.
And then growing up on the west side of Chicago.
Yeah.
You know, my mom always, you know, we didn't have a lot of clothes. We didn't.
Take a pause for a cause. You know what I mean? Salute to Chocolate Earth Foundation. What's going on, Sister Chocolate? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? You know how we do. You know what I mean? Thank you for tuning in. You know what I mean? Everybody see the link pinned in the chat. Pull up if you like. You know how we do. Let's get it.
I have a lot of food, so it was always the hand-me-downs, right? So, and my brother's clothes were too big for me, so I had to wear my sister's clothes, right? So I had to button up, you know, the blouse on the left-hand side, wear her shoes, and I was like, "Mom, I can't go to school like this."
Wow, he had to wear his sister's clothing. You know what I mean? This is big. You know what I mean? It's not something small, not something to overlook. This man had to wear his sister's clothing because his brother's clothing was too big for him. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? But this is letting you know what set the tone for how he would move and how he would basically view the world and what he would think about how the world was. So let's keep it going.
He was like, no, you going to school just like that. So every day I went to school, I had to fight.
Wow.
Yeah, so
you was wearing your sister's blouses to school.
My eighth grade picture, I got on my sister's, I got on her blazer, and I got on her hooded, flowered, blouse in the back, and those were all the clothes that I had, and that was because my sister was my size, so I fit her clothes, and all my brother's clothes and shoes, they were too big, so couldn't wear them.
You was wearing your sister's clothes
and in her gym shoes.
In her, damn, really?
Yeah.
Could she ball?
No, she was a cheerleader.
Okay.
And so all my brothers were balling. I mean, they could really play. My oldest brother, Lord Henry, he was really good. And Leon, shout out to Leon, did such an excellent job in the Mary Thomas story, my mother's story.
Yeah.
Playing my older brother. And to this day, when I see Leon, I still look at him as like, a brother, and I still feel that spirit that my older brother, Lord Henry, had. And true story about my older brother, Lord Henry. He got turned out in high school. He was a heroin addict. Okay. And,
you got turned out in high school.
Yeah. And, he was on heroin for about, 30, 35 years. And, only 1% of heroin addicts kick. And he finally kicked at the end, went back to college, graduated from college. And I never forget, he was graduating, and we sent a bus on the west side of Chicago. Now the bus and all our friends, right, that we grew up with, we had the bus, meet on Jackson and Holman, Fifth Avenue in Jackson at 3 a.m. in the morning, right? And at 3 a.m. in the morning, it's a little rough over there, right?
Chicago,
so the bus driver, I never forget, he was calling me up. He's like, Mr. Thomas, are you sure I'm in the right location? I'm like, yeah, you in the right spot. And I said, just be nice to the people who are coming on. So all his neighborhood, guys that he had grew up with, all the people in the neighborhood got on the bus. I've had them come down to Detroit. They drive about 4-5 hours down to Detroit, get there, and as he's walking across the stage, he was graduating from Phoenix College, Ford Field in Detroit. As he's walking across the stage, everybody, Lord Henry. Wow. Man, that dude broke down, started crying right on the stage. Wow. That was a big moment in our family. Man. And sorry to go off on that story. No.
Wow. Okay, so now you're seeing what sets the tone for Isiah Thomas being who he is. You know what I mean? Shout out to the Brody man. You know what I mean? Daryl Long, what's going on, baby? You know what I'm saying? I see you. Everybody make sure you subscribe to Everything Every Day podcast by Daryl Long. Memberships are out now. Go get your membership, all right? Let's get it. And then Chocolate Earth said, I watched this man play ball. Yeah, he was nice, man. With my dad. Okay. Shout out to dad. Give a shout out to Daryl Long. Yeah, let's get it. Y'all know what it is. Let's continue, y'all. Let's get it.
That round of applause, man.
But that's how we grew up.
Champions in your family.
But he passed away, so shout out to Lord Henry upstairs.
Lord Henry.
Still thinking about you.
Lord Henry.
Rest in paradise to Lord Henry. Much love. Let's get it.
Henry, nah, man, that's to me, like, even hearing his story, is what made you. Certain people, you Magic, it was certain people that were so relatable to us. You made us believe we could do anything we set our minds to. So even hearing the adversity that your family faced, to me is a part of all of our stories, right?
Absolutely.
To some extent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At that time, when did you discover basketball? Like at that time, were people telling you were they doubting you then?
Growing up on the west side of Chicago, like I was born in 61.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my first 10 years of life. 63, Kennedy is assassinated.
Mm-hmm.
65, Malcolm X is assassinated. 66, 67, Kennedy assassinated. King assassinated. And you're from Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
Black Panther Party was in my community. I was one of the kids that got the free breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
My mom worked with Fred Hampton. 69, Fred Hampton's murdered. 3 riots in my neighborhood. They had a shoot to kill order in my neighborhood, Chicago West Side. Black Panthers, Vice Lords, J. Edgar Hoover. First time a weapon was pulled on me, the National Guard pulled up off the Eisenhower Expressway. I was living on Congress and Holman, 3340 West Congress, and pulled up the tank. Back then we called it the Army tank.
Mm-hmm.
The Army tank pulled up, pointed the barrel right at our house, and you couldn't be outside. We had a curfew at 6 o'clock. So everybody had to be off the streets by 6 o'clock. So when you talk about when's the first time I got playing basketball, my first 10 years of life, I wasn't even thinking about basketball.
Wow. First 10 years of life, wasn't even thinking about basketball because his life was so real. He was going through so much struggle. He was going through so many things. He couldn't even think about basketball. He was witnessing, our leaders getting assassinated. He was witnessing oppression. He was witnessing all these things at a young age. At a young age. That's the first 10 years of this man's life of what he's been going through. You know what I'm saying? So this is what shaped him, excuse me, to be the person that he is. You know what I mean? To be the person that he becomes. So basketball wasn't even in the picture. He was too busy just trying to just make sure that he was, that he was around, he was alive. Him and his family was alive. They were all just trying to survive. Curfew at 6 p.m. You know what I mean? This is craziness. This is stuff that we don't have to even go through today. We ain't even got to face none of this stuff today. But this is what Isiah Thomas, this is the background. This is what shaped him. This is what he went through. All right? So let's keep it going.
Like that, in terms of, playing in the NBA and all that. The NBA wasn't even on television at that time. And I know that's hard to imagine, right?
Right.
But, that, how about this, that famous game they talk about that Magic Johnson played in, where he was the MVP, 42 points and all that. That game was tape delayed.
That was tape delayed?
That game was tape delayed.
That sounds bonkers in 2023.
Right. And so, I didn't grow up with this NBA basketball dream. I grew up, wanting to be, an activist, fighting in civil rights. My mom, my dad, we.
Wow. Wasn't even thinking about the NBA. He wanted to be an activist. You know what I mean? He didn't have no hoop dreams, none of that. He was trying to fight the power, you feel me? He was trying to be about the people. He was trying to be about something that actually matters. Wasn't even thinking about no NBA. Wasn't even about chasing no bag, none of that. He was thinking about, trying to become an activist and pushing our people forward. That was his mindset. Let's keep it going.
We went to all the, the civil rights, marches. And, activism is part of,
that's a part of who you are.
Yeah, that's the family business. And, during that time, again.
Said it again, activism is a family business. Not basketball, not a rap career, none of this bullshit y'all see everybody chasing. Activism was a family business. Know what I mean? That was what set the tone. Let's get it going.
Again, on the west side of Chicago, you had, Noble Drew Ali. You had, Nation of Islam. You had the Blackstone Rangers, El Rukins, Black Panther Party. So that's kind of like, my DNA in terms of how I grew up and what we were fighting for. We were fighting for, nationality, birthrights, and believe it or not to be called colored or Negro.
Yeah. Wow.
Remember those times?
Remember those times, yeah. Don't call me colored or Negro.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I had Negro on my birth certificate.
Wow. Had Negro on the birth certificate. All right. So this is deep. You know what I mean? It's not something that just happened or it just happenstance or, oh, he just wants to say this because he wants attention. No, this is really what he's been through. Let's keep it going.
And
I got Negro on my birth certificate.
Well, back then they told everybody that you had to go change your birth certificate because Negro, if you were called Negro, if that was on your birth certificate, then technically you wasn't a citizen.
Yeah. Can you break down the knowledge behind that? Like, why wouldn't you be a citizen?
Because in the United States, of America, right? When you talk about nationality, birthright, citizenship, we're still fighting for voting rights, and we were in this country, we were said to be not human. So when they took us out.
Wow. So in this country, you were said to be not human. You know what I mean? Not human. Forget having civil rights, forget having equal rights, forget all that. We were classified as not human. I'm gonna let Isaiah Thomas continue to break it down. Let's go, Mr. Thomas. Let's get
out of our nationality. They took you out of your humanness and your birthright, right? And the first march that happened in Memphis with the garbage workers, right, in Memphis, right? The sign that they had that they said, "I am a man," right? You didn't want to be dehumanized, and you didn't want to be taken out of your humanness, and you didn't want to be taken out of the human race. There really was only one race, and it was called the human race. The human race, yeah. Right? And then they put us into all these different racial categories. And in these racial categories, you lose your humanness in terms of being recognized as a man. So Negro came in to signify that you were second-class citizen in the United States, not first class. And what first class means is that classified as white, you don't have to fight for voting rights, civil rights, or equal rights. We classified as black in America. You're fighting for civil rights, equal rights, voting rights. So there's a second tier that we've always been fighting for to try to be recognized as equal and as human in this space. So that was the West.
Wow. Always fighting to be looked at as equal, as human in this space, in this country. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Shout out to, take a pause for the course for Marcus. Marcus, what's going on, baby? Good to see you up in the building. Salute, salute, salute. You know what I mean? So, man, just want to be seen as human. Just want to be seen as equal. That's all that we want to be seen as. Let's keep it going.
Side of Chicago.
That's how Isaiah Thomas grew up. I love this, man.
Wow.
Shit. Come on, man. I love this. I you brought up magic. Magic Johnson. Can you talk to us about your friendship with him? I know you
Yeah.
guys gone through your ups and downs.
I mean, how lucky was I to come into the NBA? And I just talked to you about his
42-point game.
Yeah. That was his rookie year. He's MVP. Now I come in right behind him. And this is the guy who says, "Hey man, you with me." Right? And I'm like, damn, I just saw this dude on TV. Like, he got the MVP trophy, and now I get him as not only as a friend, but also as a mentor to walk through the NBA. Mark Aguirre and I, coming from Chicago, I'm going to Detroit. He's from Lansing. And now I'm getting all the good lessons from him and George Gervin, Dr. J, about winning. Now you gotta remember, I'm 19, right? I'm poor than poor. I don't know nothing, and this dude riding up in a Mercedes Benz,
just like the series.
Yeah, talking about hey, come on in, man. We gonna go hoop. But the lessons I learned about winning in the NBA, it's a lot of people that I've won at every level. High school, college, NBA, and it takes a lot to win. And you just don't. Everybody talks about winning, but there's a pathway, there's a work ethic, and then there's a knowledge base that you have to acquire.
Man, see, everybody talks about winning, but winning is not that easy. It takes time. There's a mindset. Salute. Take a pause for the cause. Salute to Lady Phoenix. Good to see Lady Phoenix. Salute, salute, salute. Marcus says there's systematic oppression, unfortunately, in many countries. Unfortunately, Uncle Sam is spearheading some of this. We as a country are guilty of certain evil. Ooh, man. Talk about it, Marcus. Talk about it, brother. I see you. Now, I mean, everybody, giving their pleasantries and they love. Salute, salute to everybody. You know what I mean? That's what's up. Let's continue to keep it going, y'all. Let's let Lord Isaiah Thomas speak for himself. Let's get it.
And what I was able to acquire at that time from Magic and the Los Angeles Lakers, and then being friends at that time with Kevin McHale and the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
So I'm getting knowledge from Cedric Maxwell,
legends,
Dennis Johnson, Magic Johnson, and I'm at, if you go back and you look, I'm at every Lakers Celtics series. That was the Harvard and the Yales in terms of knowledge base. When you talk about, academia and you compare it to basketball, that's where you went to study. So studying those two teams and then having Magic as a friend, it definitely helped me from a knowledge standpoint. And I was extremely lucky to have him.
Yeah.
Now, then once you acquire the knowledge, once the student challenges the master, the master ain't too happy about that. And then when the student beats the master,
yeah,
the master normally say lesson learned. But in sport, it's like, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
You gotta love it, right? You gotta love it.
So,
you talk about the Celtics, and when you think of the Celtics, a lot of people think of Larry Bird, but I recall you saying your parents watched the Celtics for a different reason, right?
Absolutely. Again, you got to remember, in my household, all that was talked about was education and understanding the Constitution and the rules of this United States of America that we were living in junior high. You have to act and be, and this is how you navigate.
All that was discussed in the household was education and the Constitution, how to act. That's all that was taught. None of this other BS that y'all teaching nowadays. The education and how to act out here. And knowing the law and knowing how to move. Let's get it.
I remember 1974, I'm on my way to school. and this is when they first started busing and integrating the buses, right? And for those who don't know, that means busing was they take you out of your neighborhood to the white schools because the white schools had all of the
resources.
Yeah. So 1974, I'm getting ready to walk out the door. My mom grabbed me by the collar. She said, "Junior, sit down." I said, "Mom, I'm gonna be late for school." She goes, "No, you got to watch this." And I never forget, and it's still, singed in my brain. There's a white woman that came on, and we was watching the CBS News, and they were in Boston, and she was saying on the news, and you may be able to even go back and find the clip on YouTube. She said, "I would never let my kids go to school with these ends," and she used the N word. And
let that sink in. All those who believe in diversity and we're all equal, I would never let my kid go to school with them ends. Okay? This is the mindset. This is the mindset that has been programmed by the colonizer and oppressor. It hasn't changed. This is the mindset. Okay? You know what I mean? And you have to understand, as Lady Phoenix says, I see Lady Phoenix, see you in the building, says, "Oh, he didn't have uniforms, no attitude, no hatred. Had to respect, or was labeled." Yes, yes indeed, yes indeed. Let's continue. Let's get it.
And I was like, "Mom, I got to go to school." And I'll never forget, she said, "This is why we root for Bill Russell and the Boston Celtics." So in our household, right? Bill Russell and the Boston Celtics and the St. Louis Cardinals with Bob Gibson.
Yeah.
That's who, and
Yes, Bill Russell and Bob Gibson. I'm doing a Black is Gold on those gentlemen coming in February. Black is Gold is coming back this February, and I'm going to be profiling a lot of these people that he's talking about. All right, Isiah Thomas, let's keep it going, brother.
And we have books on Paul Robeson, right? And for those who don't know about Paul Robeson, over at Rutgers University, go do some research there and find out who that man was, who they don't talk about enough.
Bill Russell, we hear a lot of these conversations, we got this banter, it's all over the sports networks, man. Who's the greatest in all these, the greatest teams, the greatest player. Unless you're a professional, a lot of folks just don't know Bill Russell's impact.
They don't know it, don't understand it, and really don't understand how hard it is to win. I'm talking about championships and what Bill Russell did in the 60s.
Yeah.
Listen to me when I say this, because some of you are not old enough to understand how difficult life was for a classified Black man in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. And Bill Russell, as a teenager, can you imagine what his life was like as a teenager in the 50s? Now he gets to the 60s and he wins championships. But the way he probably was treated as a teenager, as a tall Black man in America, right? And still to, have the dignity that he had. So, as I said, when I started, I rattled off all those murders that happened in the 60s. Bill Russell and Red Auerbach and the Boston Celtics in 1966 or 67, I'm not sure what date it was, but they said Bill Russell is the player coach for the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
And they won the championship.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
You don't hear him.
On, man. Come on.
He was the player coach and won the championship while being treated and mistreated outside of the arena in Boston. I mean, and you got to get a Boston
He was the player and the coach for that team by being treated and mistreated. Okay? So he just wasn't treated right just because he was on the Celtics and he was winning championships. No, he was mistreated too. He was mistreated. Understand that. Let that sink in. Lady Phoenix says. Well, you coming back up? Hold on. That's right. Go and do your research yourself. Don't use they didn't teach me that as an excuse for not knowing. Facts.
Celtics organization, their props. Because Red Auerbach, right? God rest his soul, stood up during that period of time as a classified white male Caucasian and said, this brother here, I'm getting ready to show y'all America, Boston, what we're all about as a Celtics organization. Yeah. Mad respect for the Celtics organization.
Come on, man. Okay. That's the only. Wow. I was trying to find a way to respect them. You just gave me one. So let me ask you your thoughts on this too, and I'm sure, and we're gonna get to why you're here. It's an exciting thing you're doing with Mitchell Ness. It's a company that I've been supporting since the early millennium. I used to bring MTV out to Mitchell Ness, and we would do coverage of them. I think it was Dennis Rodman who recently said that if Larry Bird played today, he'll have to play over in the European League, right? And because of the way the game is in 2023, I remember I think you joked about it, but I thought it was truth. You said if Larry Bird was a black, he'd just be another black player back in the day or something.
Here's what I'm not going to do today, because you do have to learn from your experiences.
Okay, there you go. Okay.
I'm not going to joke about it.
Okay.
I ain't going to say nothing about it. Only thing I'm going to say is, hey, that's what Rodman said.
Okay. There you go. That's it.
Can't be bad at that.
Hey, I speak for myself.
Okay.
Right? I don't speak for nobody else. As the captain of the Detroit Pistons during that time, my job was to look out and take care. Now, I speak for myself. I'm not acting as the captain of the Detroit Pistons. My personal opinion on Larry Bird, if Larry Bird was playing today, he would still be the MVP of the league, and his team would still be winning championships. Now, why do I say that? Because we just watched the Joker, who is very similar to Larry Bird, take his Denver Nuggets team and win the championship. So if I look at these two players and if I'm saying they're similar, then Bird would probably win 2 or 3 championships in this era.
In this era right now.
Yeah.
Ooh, and you played him, so you know, right?
Oh, out of all the players we played against, when Larry Bird caught the basketball, we were most afraid of him. And it's hard for young people to understand, because those of us who was around in the 80s, who really got to see him and the Boston Celtics play, the dude, he just didn't miss. And when he missed, you were shocked that he missed.
Yeah.
As I said before, like my mother-in-law named his jump shot Silent Death, because when he shot it, it just looked like it just stayed in the air and just rolled and rolled. No, and if you go back and you look at the 80s, right?
Yeah.
Everybody shot like this.
That's true. Right?
Everybody was imitating him. Right? Come on, man. Talk to me now. Everybody was imitating his shot just like that, right?
True. That's true.
No, he was the dude.
He was the dude.
33 and green. He was the dude.
Wow, Larry Bird. When you look at Stephen Curry's shot.
Oh, pretty.
Right? Yo, Isiah, why won't they give Stephen Curry his props, though, man? What is that about? He got rings. I felt like the Golden State Warriors wasn't a team of elite players when they assemble.
I think I'm struggle streaming. I am struggle streaming. Simon, what's going on, man? See you checked in. What's going on? What you want to share about the video? Simon, are you there? Hello, hello? Can't hear you, brother. Wondering if it's me or if it's him. I don't know. I still can't hear him. Simon, you have to come back, bro. I can't hear you at all. So I'm gonna give Simon some minutes to come back. I'm gonna put a timer up there so he can come back, because I cannot hear this man at all. I'm gonna put a timer up there. So yes. Seeing loud and promise, Isiah Thomas. Yes. So that is, that is where that is the crux of his argument. That was mostly what he talked about within the interview. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta salute to Isiah Thomas, man, because, with him exposing how systematic oppression is a thing, we can't ignore it. We cannot ignore it. We cannot ignore what's going on. We cannot ignore different things that have happened through history. There's no excuse. There's no excuse for people to ignore the things that are going on. There's no excuse for people to ignore what's happening around us. All excuses are gone. Either you're going to acknowledge it or you're not. So I'm going to bring Simon back up. I think his sound is good. Let's see. Simon, are you good? Hello? Hello? Still can't hear you, brother. So yeah, he'll come back. But yeah, all excuses now are gone. All excuses of, it doesn't exist, or it's not happening, or that's not real. All those excuses are gone. You know what I mean? So we got to really live in reality. Live in reality of the things that we face, and in reality of the things that's really going on out here. And then Sister Lady Phoenix says, Warriors ain't finna just single out mass appeal. Not a fan, but we see it. Y'all saw Steph Curry shoot that shot. Oh man, yeah, that's true. That is true. You know what I mean? So shout out to the Warriors. Shout out to all the talented players in the NBA, man. Shout out to all the brothers who are talented and doing their thing. You know what I mean? But like I told you, I'm not gonna be here for a long time on the stream. I just wanted to point out that somebody who is of high esteem, a real high value man, points out the realness of systematic oppression. Now, tomorrow is going to be a very controversial topic, okay? Just like all my topics are semi-controversial, right? They have a little bit of edge to them, right? But tomorrow is going to be real controversial, all right? Y'all already seen the preview for it, okay? Fresh ass whoopings in Montgomery. We're going to really get into this tomorrow, all right? This is going to be, it's going to be a lot to take in tomorrow. So be ready, okay? We're going to really talk about this tomorrow. We're really going to get into it, okay? And I want everybody's opinion. Do you think the brothers and sisters were wrong for defending themselves? Do you think they was right? Some people may think they were wrong. Some people think they should have not swung back. They shouldn't have got involved. They should have maybe have, got the police involved or whatever. Whatever you feel, right? Some people may feel like, hey, about time. You know what I mean? Or some people may feel like, you know what? So what? We did that, so what? Now what? Now what's gonna happen? You know what I mean? So we're gonna really get into that tomorrow. Okay, that Montgomery, the Montgomery ass whoopings, as I'm gonna call them, the fresh ass whoopings in Montgomery. All right, we're gonna get into that tomorrow. I really want to talk about that today, but I need to cover this. Okay, I need to cover the great Isiah Thomas and him exposing systematic oppression. That need to be talked about. I had to get through this topic. Okay, now that that's done, you know what I mean? I can move on and talk about, you know what I mean, the whoopings in Montgomery. Hold on, let me get to Simon real quick. Simon, are you there? Hello, hello, hello? Hello? Simon, can't hear you, brother. Your sound is out, man. There you go. Okay. Anything you want to share before I roll out? Because I'm about to roll out.
Well, you can't hear me, so.
No, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
You can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh. Oh, okay. That's interesting. No, I think the topic you have is poignant, and it might not mean anything to anyone right now, but it will do maybe in a year or two. And I think that's the thing about how we broadcast ourselves and put ourselves across, you know. I really can't see how anyone can hear me. Maybe you can hear me, maybe the audience can't. So it is what it is. And maybe we can have a conversation about that, but you know, this is your channel, so you can do as you please.
Hey, you bro, hold on. I'm mute up for a second. I want to respond to what you said. So my thing is this: I'm not really worried about who wants to care about it or not. People don't care about this. That's on them. You know what I mean? Look, everybody will get that Negro wake up call one day. Okay? It's gonna happen to everybody. You gotta mute up, Simon, because you gotta echo. Everybody will get a Negro wake up call one day. All right? May not be today, may not be tomorrow, may not be next week. But you all will get a Negro wake up call to let you know who you are. But the thing is that this is the thing. I'm just gonna be completely honest. Niggas is living in fantasy. They live in a fantasy because they live in a fantasy land. You know what I mean? They may not pull up when I first do a topic, but then they'll watch it later on, and I'll get about 70, 80 views or 90 views or whatever of people watching it. But they don't want to pull up when the thing actually happens, because a lot of times what I've noticed, right? Not with everybody, but with some people, right? And this is why I'm starting to move away from a lot of people in space. You know what I mean? And some of them are getting rid of themselves, which is, let me tell you something. If you get rid of yourself, thank you, okay? If you stop following me, if you stop picking up my calls, if you stop messing with me, I want to say thank you, okay? Thank you. Get out my way, all right? You know what I'm saying? It's all good. I'm glad that you're removing yourself. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I am moving out of this bullshit algorithm that y'all got going on. You know what I mean? I'm moving into a whole different algorithm with a whole bunch of new other people. You know what I mean? And I'm really fighting hard to move out of this algorithm that y'all in. Like every time I be seeing some of your shit pop up, I have to don't recommend your channel so many times. It's starting to get on my goddamn nerves. I'm about to just create a whole nother, YouTube account, so I have to see none of the shit that y'all doing. To be honest with you. You know what I mean? Because I'm so sick of seeing a lot of that shit that y'all doing. Men versus women, who don't like who. I don't give a fuck. All right? Because ain't none of y'all pulling up, and none of y'all gonna fight each other, and ain't none of y'all gonna really spend no money to come see each other, none of that bullshit. So I don't really care about none of that. All right? So, with that being said, you know what I mean? And none of you want to have a conversation about what's really going on. Just want to make reaction videos to try to make people spend money and watch you or whatever the hell you want to do. I don't really care. At the end of the day, I make my content for those who are intellectual, for those who really care about the community, for those who really want to be a part of something and watch something that's different. Excuse me, that's allergies. I don't make my content for those who don't care about the community. I don't make my content for those who don't care about people. If you are a bottom feeder, if that's what you like, if you like controversy, you like drama, you like bullshit, there are spaces for that. This is not that space. Excuse me. Non relationship is not that space. Okay, we're about providing quality content. You don't like quality content is fine. You don't have to watch. Perfectly fine. I am not stressing over this YouTube shit, man. Excuse me. You know what I mean? My outside life is way great. You know what I mean? For me to be stressing about anything on YouTube. And I got my problems in my outside life too. I'm not perfect. You know what I mean? Ooh, this allergy kicking my ass. Now, the allergy give me some fresh Montgomery Afrobeats right now. But with that being said, oh man. With that being said, I'm not making content to chase controversy or to chase views or to chase anything that these other people are chasing. I'm doing content that is important. I'm doing content that's going to speak to something, that's going to speak to somebody's life. You know what I mean? It's going to speak to people's life like Lady Phoenix. Shout out to her. You know what I mean? This is who I make content for. I don't make content for anybody else that's about the bullshit because I don't really care. You know what I mean? To be honest with you. So anybody want to be on bullshit time, they can be on that time. It's fine. But I make content, I do because I really want to make content. I don't have to be on this shit no more, to be honest with you. I done did everything I wanted to do. Want to get to 500, I did that. Did 1,000, did the monetization, interviewed a whole bunch of people, help people create their own channels, their own movements. I don't have to do nothing else, man. I did everything I want to do. You know what I mean? There's one time a great person known as Dwayne The Rock Johnson said in the promo, The Rock has done it all. Done it all. Mr. Best in the world has done it all. I've done it all. Ain't nothing else I need to do. I do this now because I actually like it. But it's no longer a need for me. It's more of a want or a hobby. And I can turn it off just like that at a snap of a finger anytime. Anytime. So that's what it is. Simon left. It's all good. Maybe he'll be back. But, you know, Simon said something and I had to respond. But I love you, Simon. I'm not coming at you, bro. Don't think I'm coming at you at all. But you made a comment, so I had to respond to it. Because you said some people may not get it now, whatever. Look, they don't get it, they'll get it when they get it. There's certain shit I didn't get until life really hit me in my ass and I had to get it. So that's how life is. You're always a learning, you're always a growing, you're always maturing. You know what I mean? And hopefully there's enough people that love you that help you to get to that point. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you may need help getting to that point. Sometimes you can't get to that point on your own and somebody has to push you to that point. And it's all good. You know what I mean? So I don't make content for, you know, for people to care about it. If you don't care about it, don't care about it. It's fine. I don't care. Okay? I'm still going to go live tomorrow. You know what I mean? I'm still going to do whatever I want to do. And I'm still going to live my life the way I want to live my life. And that's the thing that matters the most. This other stuff don't matter. Just doesn't. With that being said, much love to everybody that came in. You know what I mean? Much love to Simon. I'm glad you came up, brother. Salute to you. You know what I mean? Salute to everybody that checked in. And with that being said, I am out. Let me find my outro music. There we go. Man, if I ever do YouTube, these banners are not easy to find, y'all. I'm telling you. Okay, I got it. There you go. Let's get it. Later, y'all.